Marina Aizatosma Sise and today the camera the police headquarters concerning the press conference where police call. Also they go can talk about the operations where police they do and also some of the matters them where they under investigation.
At police headquarters, you know that we always want you guys to be on our back. But we recognize or actualize that some media houses, to be very frank with you guys, please, you should come on board to be publishing our updates. Coming here is one thing, but for us to see on the newspapers or for us to, listen to the publication, the radio or television is another thing. So this one is coming from the management of the steering position. In as much as we are partners, we are also appealing for that vote on our days page. So in that, I will do the introduction as usual. I am Assistant Superintendent of Police, Samuel Side Conte, 57th year of India. Of course, on my immediate right is Sergeant Bangura. He is representing Freetown West, the regional office. Of course, on my extreme left is the Assistant Superintendent of Police, Francis Levy. He is the Operations Officer at the Criminal Investigations Department. Of course, next to him, you can see we have Jah Clarifies. He is representing the Office of Small Arms. And of course, we have Inspector Edward Kamara and other media officers. That is from the Leone Police. Of course, the chairperson, as usual, is the Director of Operations, AIG Brima Jah. Thank you so very much.
Well, thank you. And we should be expecting the Director of Crime Services, Mr. Fayas, he's supposed to be here. We don't know what's happening. I've been trying to get at him. We can't get him. However, we will continue calling him until after the introduction. For the press houses, can we start from the back? Brett, you just introduce yourself. The introduction.
Who can do that though?
That will take time.
Usman Conte, future speaker.
Most of some.
Usman Conte, 5 times.
Five times.
5? Okay.
From the back, follow. Dennis Jones, Sierra Express Media.
Mohamed Sise, A to Z Multimedia Corporation.
Dauda Kuroma, Freedom Post and Observer.
Khadija to Jalos, Sky Ready.
Sida Kemsaka, we see our network.
Chado de Amzan, Iravi TV. You know you.
On va vous conseiller de monter au site.
They are not here, sir.
Oh, A to Z?
Yes, madam.
Maria Masuma, SLBC.
Yes, my friend. Have you introduced yourself?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hey, why we are here? So,
Yeah, sorry, sir.
your seat is here.
Well, I never knew I was coming. I just came with this one to ask for whosoever is representing them, because I cannot imagine how can somebody be in attendance and write something very misleading to the public.
Well, come, I think that will be part of the press briefing.
Yes, very misleading to the public.
Okay, I think we'll keep it. Just come and sit yourself.
Yes.
While we discuss the details of. We'll give you. You have a slot here. Yes.
Check on
AZ. A to Z. A to Z.
Of course, they are here.
Yes,
of course.
Okay, fine. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome. Mr. Brima Jah just joined us. As I mentioned, Mr. Fayaselu will also be. I will take you through the program quickly. Our opening courtesies, our prayer, introductions we have done, and then the chairman's opening remarks, COVID-19 prevention strategies by the police, Leone police, Operation Python relating to the suspension of mining activities along major rivers of Sierra Leone, Operation Smooth Riding in the city of Freetown, Operation Seagull, leading to the arrest and prosecution of dynamite blasters during the Aberdeen Creek. And then we will also discuss some people in police custody, the conspiracy on lawful possession of firearms, ammunition, etc. The Director of Crime Services will update that. Updates on Esther cable theft. I hope you guys yes, sir. You will call him to call this Soko and the others. Updates on Esther cable theft and illegal connections. Updates from CID Ops, Mr. Francis Levy. He will give you an update on what is going on, especially with crime investigations. And then questions and answers. And after which, the closing courtesies. Will I'm in the meeting. Hello? Yeah, I didn't meeting. Maya, go. It take 2 hours. I hope everybody prayed, but if you did not, we'll give 1 minute for everybody to pray for himself. And then we'll start immediately. Bismillah. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Colleagues on this side, you're welcome. Small arms, you're always welcome. We are always dealing with arms issues anytime we come to this place. Several arms received from the police while people arrested for unlawfully possessing firearms. We really wanted to display it, but it is so early that we would be allowed to go to CID to see look at them. We don't want the press, we don't want to, how do I say, we don't want to predict everything. We don't want people, we don't want to interfere with the investigations as of now. Because saying anything too much about those firearms, it will certify the whole issue. So ours is to just tell you what's happened. And there are other firearms issues relating to Operation Smooth Riding, preventing Okada riders from coming into the CBD. We have some issues with that, and we need to tell you, and I know you have a lot of questions on that. Operation Sea Gulf, you all know what is happening in the Aberdeen Creek, where people are throwing some dynamites, well, improvised explosive devices this time. It is manufactured in Sierra Leone and it is used by our people. And if we tell you the active ingredients for some of you that have some chemistry background, you'll be surprised that the so-called illiterates that people refer to know more chemistry than the professors. These people will make their improvised explosive devices go into the sea, exploding, kill the fishes, and send it to you again. So those are things that are going on all around this country. But there are problems with them. Because the more they become specialized. The danger this country is exposed to, because that is what happens in Somalia. All of the war, the how do I call it, weapons of mass destruction are the explosive devices, the improvised explosive devices. So that's one I will handle, and then Mr. Brima Jah will be here to tell you about disciplinary issues that we are investigating. A lot of people are, we don't have sacred cows in the police. And all those that will be found wanted, I think he will have to do those, and will have to inform you on what will happen so far. Mr. Levy here, and the Director of Crime Services, will be here to give you some updates on our investigations. Yeah, the operations officer, sorry, and the Director of Crime Services. But when he's here, we'll give you updates on the major investigations that are going on at the CID. And my friend Bangura will tell you a lot more that are going on at the west end of Freetown, Ripon West. And we were waiting to see if Mr. Sen is here, then we will continue. But since we have made the introduction, I've also introduced Mr. Brima Jah, because he was not here when we were introduced. I will just come up straight that I hope you all had the President's broadcast on the prevention strategies that we are adopted for the spread of the Delta variant of COVID-19. You will all realize that this is the most deadly as of now, credible statistics. I don't want only that we all know that a lot more people have died, and we have passed the 100 mark. Recently, I think as recent as yesterday, I read that we have exceeded the 100 mark in our death rate. Before this time, Sierra Leone was one of the lowest, had one of the lowest death rates in the country. And you will realize that the police is taxed with several tasks within the NACOVAC prevention strategies and the enforcement of some of those regulations, of some of those restrictive measures that were announced by His Excellency. Okay. Guys, this is the shortest route. Let me by His Excellency the President. So, we've heard that the coffee started yesterday, and it will extend between 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning. So with that, the police will be around. You will see some checkpoints after 11 across the city and all over Sierra Leone to ensure that the curfew is observed. We know it is difficult, but there is nothing we can do. It is only the police that will lead on such responsibilities. And I think health comes first. So the best we can do is for people to obey, to abide by the rules, so that nobody will be found wanting. You know that the penalties are heavy, and we will not want people to pay any penalty. So the best we can do is to ensure that do the prevention methods more. The use of our mask, I think that one should be compulsory. There is nobody that will be able to enforce that generally, except probably using public infrastructures like police headquarters and other offices. And in the streets, you will see some policemen. We are not harassing. We only want people to be safe. Advising you to put on your mask, etc. And this is not the first time. It has happened in the past before it was relaxed slightly, and the relaxation had to lead to the spike in the new variant, etc., etc. and therefore we advise our people to abide by those rules. So we will also be seeing our policemen in all over the city and all in our major towns in the country, protecting the quarantine homes. These are started at several houses, several homes in Freetown are now in quarantine. And in the provinces, this morning I was reading my secret that even in Sierra Leone, there are 3 quarantine homes. You know, in Maburuka, Kenya, and a lot of other parts of this country. We have quarantine homes. And these people have been looked at. But one thing we should not take lightly is that the variant is very hostile. It has killed a lot of people. I know a few it has killed. So, I'd advise, even here, for people who are not wearing masks, please don't, we don't want to bury some people before the end of this week. So please ensure that you wear your mask. I will quickly go to Operation Python. I think the last time we met at the mess, I informed you about the operation. We have conducted 2 operations Python. One from the 4th to the 5th, and then the team came back. And that was in Bumbuna. I say Bumbuna, along the river Pampana. That is Matutuka, Maguluka areas. Matutuka, Maguluka areas. And several arrests were made. Several arrests were made. And all of those cases, the first time it was 13 people were arrested, all of them Sierra Leoneans, and have all been charged. The second operation was in Kenema, Gwajubu in particular, and Jembe in particular, across the Sewa River. And again, 6 people were arrested, 1 Sierra Leoneans and the others are foreigners, including Ghanaians, 2 Ghanaians, an Ivorian, a Liberian, a Guinean, and a Sierra Leonean. And the investigation is being conducted at the CIA. They are all on remand. Again, some exhibits were arrested, and some of those exhibits are in Kenema police station, but the major exhibits that were received are in Jue. For those that listened to the SLBC some time ago, some of those were displayed and were displayed at the SLBC, and it was on television for quite some time. So the directive that came before these operations were conducted is that a lot of mining is going on along the major rivers of Sierra Leone. River Pampana alone has 3 names. In the north, it is called Pampana. In the south, it is called River Teya. And then going into the Atlantic Ocean, it's called River John. Yeah? That one river has 3 names. The only rivers that have their own name, Sewa, it comes through, that's the only one. And Moi, they go through, they have the same names. You know, and these are the major rivers. And if you see them now, for those of you that go to the provinces, they are silted, they are very dirty. Very, very, very dirty. And number 2, there's a lot of mercury that is poured in those, because when these people are mining gold, mercury is very, very useful, you know, because of specific gravity. When you put them, you know, the gold will just go down, surface, and then the other stone will just pass over, and therefore will be removed of it. For those that do not know those chemistry, they will use calabash, etc. And a lot of logging and deforestation is also going on in the country. That is no secret. And the land degradation, erosions, etc. it's eroding a lot of the debris into those of our waters that are making them look very, very silty, very, very dirty. And this will destroy marine life. And you will also agree with me that those that are along those rivers use the rivers for drinking, for cooking, for even their sources of protein, their animals, their fishes. But all of those marine lives are now being disturbed. So we are carrying those operations. And for those press houses that we would be interested, whenever we are going, if you are interested, you can join us. We will only provide probably transportation to and fro in our vehicles. The rest you can handle. Because if you want to have first-hand information, it is good. We'll assist you by just providing space in our vehicles or spaces in our vehicles. So we are trying to make sure we conduct one shortly from now on to next week. We should be able to. We will not tell you where we are going, but if you follow us, we will all go there together.
Kind of dark city.
Yes. But we tell you where we are going, you also tell your wife that we are going to Tono. And when we reach there, so don't just then other people will not be informed, and therefore our operations will be aborted. So we'll not tell you where we are going, but we're trusted you can join us.
So it is going to be covert.
Of course, it is going to be overt. It's not going to be covert. It's going to be because we are carrying police uniform there. But the information that we are getting will be provided by the covert police. And then we will now do the overt operations. It is going to be an open operation. And that is why you are there, so that you also film everything that you see. The destruction of the. Because what we do, there are sort of some equipment that are not physically, that we cannot physically take and bring to freedom, like the dredges. These are very big machines in the water that people use to dig on the seabeds, sea banks and the middle of the sea and the bed of the sea to get their gravels, to get the whatever that they want to wash. So those machines, we can't bring them to Freetown. So the best we can do to those sort of machines is to destroy them. We destroy them by burning. So the burning can be done right on the spot there. So that when you have, because some of those machines will cost as much as $200,000. Yes, like how do they call it? The excavators are very expensive. So if you take your excavator, you take your dredges, I don't think you will be able, because you'll be losing very close to 500,000 USD. And that will discourage you slightly. But let me tell you, gentlemen, because one of the questions, ladies and gentlemen, is that people will ask, why these people were given licenses. Unfortunately, the mineral department is telling us, is it MNI?
Enemy.
Yes, it's telling us that only one person is licensed in the whole country. Yes, to use the dredge.
Okay, great. Okay.
That is those on the rivers to use the dredge. So illegal miners, meaning they are not supposed to be in those areas, and therefore they are committing several offenses. So we are going to prosecute them all, and probably the law will not take its course with respect to the investigations and for the illegal Operation Seagull, GULL. This operation is in response to several blasts that is taking place at the Aberdeen Creek. The Aberdeen Creek
So
It's a shallow water, actually. A creek is a shallow water where people will go, and the fishes are so many in those areas. This is why people don't go in the middle. Fishes are so many. So the sooner they come and dump, where is it? My friend, bring your fish. And the thing is what they call dynamite.
Yes, good. Anytime.
Black man dynamite. This, they kill, if we hit an two people go die. Yes, if you light a hip and this is what the Al-Shabaab uses. Bigger ones. They will make it as big as a vehicle. Like one Puda then Sirina. They pull up and pin. You put it by this house and blast it. This house is for them. And everybody in here will die. So these are the baby on them. They will light it from here. Where they have the matches? Where is the matches? You can test it, sir. Please test it.
No one go on me some training. You
can test it, sir. Test it. Who let them go on me some? Just test it, sir. These are stones or irons, and this is the nitrogen fertilizer. The nitrate fertilizer. This lower fiber salt. Submit the nitrate fertilizer, lower fiber salt. It is very good for young plants that are just coming up. You know, it gives them a lot of nitrogen. So this 90s. So the most important active ingredient is this. And this is a detonator. That's something in the middle. So the sooner this reaches this detonator, then this is now ignited, and then they give a blast. So this stone, if we jam, you the bossa. So fish self, if we jam them, the killer. So this is what they call an improvised explosive device. Yes, this is what they call an improvised explosive device. And if people are not sabi make this for that's alone. I tell you, you don't in danger. I feel bad food. If you and this man make flour, just go hide it. Because the other thing is that for those that have not specialized like in Somalia, they don't light it. They will use their phones. Then bought a phone there. Then bought a phone. We just put it here. Like when you leave it here, you go outside and take your food and detonate it. This time. Yes, this time. Yes, they have a way of doing it. They will go out, something don't come on all this area, and then the detonator. So in go there and now this thing the fire. So this is what is used. So people are doing this, and it is good. It is cracking. The Badin Bridge and all of those houses, especially the Pelican, destroying those buildings. So this thing has been going on since I was a constable. Long time. They have fought them. But it appears they are becoming more specialized. Initially, they were buying these things from the construction companies. But they are so specialized that they are now manufacturing it on their own. Locally. And they are selling it in Britain. Yes, they are selling them. There are specialized people who are making them, and then they sell them to people from Mambolo. Those by the rivers, are now coming to buy. And I know some of them are going through some apprenticeship to know how to manufacture these things very, very well. So there's an operation going on to forestall this particular thing in place. And we shall make sure that we do as much as possible, both intelligence and operational issues. Fode, to say is here. Where is Fode? Yeah, he will give throw some light on those issues. And finally, I will touch quickly on operation. Smooth riding, but we'll ask for the CC to give back some background on some of these issues. Thank you for the time.
Head of the Operational Policy and Planning Department. Like my AIG said, we are currently engaged on various operations. But the one that is closer to our hearts is Operation Seagull. Operation Seagull, as you rightly mentioned, is the one aimed at putting a stop to this indiscriminate and illegal blasting of dynamite in the Aberdeen Creek and surrounding areas. Again, I will draw influence from you. For quite a long time now, people have been, especially fishermen, have been in the habit of blasting dynamite to catch fish. And there are so many implications. If you look at Aberdeen region, if you go down the bridge, just take a hard look at it, you will see various cracks. And then I know that that bridge is the longest in Sierra Leone, and it links Freetown to the touristic hub, which is Aberdeen. You cannot sit and allow some unscrupulous people to destroy that bridge. That bridge, the construction of that bridge started in the late 60s to early 70s, and it ended, I think, in 1985. Meaning huge monies were spent to construct it. If we sit by and allow these people to collapse that bridge, where would the government get the money to rebuild it? And most of you will start blaming us that the police did not do their job properly. Not so.
Yeah.
So we will not sit by. We will take all measures necessary. When I say all measures, I mean all measures necessary. All options are on the table. We've engaged them on series of occasions. We've adopted a multi-sectoral approach. We've gone with the Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Lands, Environmental Protection Agency, civil society. The pictures are there. I even have a video clip which I did in 2012 when I was the OC Aberdeen. For evidence sake, if you want, I can even play it for you here to see. We won and won and won and won. But these people are still trying to test our resolve. This time, we will not allow them to get their way. If they talk about human rights, we will tell them that the public safety and security far overrides their own parochial interests. Because they are playing or touching on the lives of the rights of thousands of Sierra Leoneans or millions of Sierra Leoneans. I will not allow that to happen. So the operation will still continue. We are going to chase them, and this time we will not relent. If you've been going along the Aberdeen Creek now, you find out that for about a week now, there has been a very, very, very minimal blasting, almost zero, and we want to keep it that way. 1 or 2 people have been arrested, and we are going to ensure that they are charged with that. And the rest assured that they will be prosecuted accordingly. As for the other operation, we are presently set on implementing the COVID Operation Resilience, the COVID third wave, the third wave of COVID-19 mitigations, as directed by His Excellency the President on his address to the nation on the 1st of January, the 1st of July, a few days ago. We are now worried with the third wave because from intelligence we obtained, the current strain, which is in Sierra Leone, otherwise known as the Delta variant, is very, very deadlier than all the previous stages of COVID. And the health and safety of every Sierra Leonean is of paramount interest to us. So please help us to cascade this message. Help us so that people will regulate their behaviors and their attitudes accordingly. So we're setting up checkpoints. We are going to enforce the use of face masks. social distancing, etc.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Today you are receiving more information. The third one is Operation Smooth Riding. Has been going on quite some time in this Freetown. We still have some deviants, and we're still arresting some of the deviants. It will surprise you that we have arrested over 500 bikes during these operations, taking them all to SLRSA for ticketing, etc. But these people still, you go out, you will more see one or two that are still coming. And we will not relent, continue fighting until we know we all work that way. So we shall all continue to see what will happen. We can't relent because if people know, I live somewhere outside Calabata, and it will surprise you that when I'm coming in the morning, I take motorcycles that were blocking us along to 30 minutes from my house at Allentown, so to Freetown to this police headquarters. Before, you will take more than 3 hours in order to reach there. And in the evening, it's about the same. So these people, this operation will continue. We'll continue to have it until people desist. Until now it becomes a norm that they themselves will have it. However, because of what has been going on, the government has decided through the owners to restructure or regulate the Bike Riders Association. And we have been holding several meetings at the ONS to see what we can do. We are learning some best practices from other countries, Burkina Faso, Abidjan, and others, to see how we will be able to regulate them. But not for the CBD, so that they would now ride in other areas decently. Because as of now, these people are different. They think they are different. They don't observe traffic. They just the mass. Wait, go. Wait, person bang there, or them bang you, you will come and fight. So these are the lawlessness that are going on. And very shortly, we are going to launch an operation against lawlessness. Very, very short. Against garbage throwing, against street trading in specific areas, so that our city will look like this. On this note, I want to stop so far, and we'll ask Mr. Brima Jah to bring us our ethical standard.
Thank you. Thank you, members of the Sport Estate. During the Mr. Bidu era, we launched this, which we are all enjoying today, that we come and talk directly to the Fourth Estate regarding matters we are investigating. You all agree with me that prior to that era, journalists were guessing as what exactly the police officers were investigating. When Mr. Kikbidu, the former Inspector General of Police, a British one, he thought it wise that there is no point hiding from the journalists. He said, let's call them and talk to them directly. Because we want you to get accurate information. Areas that we think because of investigation, it will disturb the investigation. Then we'll let you understand that we cannot go beyond that because it will disturb the investigation. And so we started doing it very well. I remember I was inspector at Congo Cross. I used to come down to brief the protesters. The major reason is for you to get it from the horse's mouth and for you to report it to the members of the public accurately. accurately. The police force, as we have it today, the number is huge. And so we need to discipline our police officers. Those actually that fall foul with internal discipline, they are disciplined themselves. And it is the business of the Director of Professional Standards to oversee all of that. Minor breaches, we bring in some punishments that will be equal to what actually they did. Those that are of serious criminal nature will warrant the SLP to have those officers dismissed. And then, if there are serious criminal issues, we charge them to go into court. And that is why you see people who were here, we can dismiss people on display issues. And then, if there are serious criminality involved, we charge them criminally. What we will not want the press to do is really to give something to the public very misleading. This is a clear example. A to Z newspaper. They are still carrying what they think they know, rather than what is being given to them from the actual source. This police officer was part of the team that I led to Aberdeen, the Normally Beach, Aberdeen, Sierra Palm Hotel to be specific. We acted on information and we were very successful that we discovered the sum of 160,000 euros. 160,000 United States dollars, not this one you see here. 5 gold bars, testing and melting machines of gold. We came and I reported accordingly to the Inspector General of Police. The then Officer Commanding Special Investigation Bureau was one Samuel Sayo Cabo. He was instructed to take the said items to finance office to one Mr. Fire Johnny Walker for safekeeping. Later we were told, or in fact, the next day, that was July 23rd, July 23rd, 2020. When he went to Fire asked him to get the serial numbers of the dollars. He was to do it in the office of Fire. He opted to do it in his own office at Central Police Station. He went there. As it was getting to night, Mr. Walker sent, he called him severally to come with the money. He could not come. And so he sent one Inspector Bendu to go and ask him to follow him with the money here to police headquarters. By the time Bendu got there, he had gone home. I was expecting that the next day he could conclude the investigation by crossing the T's and dotting the I's. So the third day, I could not see him. It became a concern. So I called him on the mobile phone. I said, for the past 2 days, I was expecting to have concluded this investigation. But I'm not saying it. What's happening? Or you say his brother or uncle or whatever died, and that they were taking the remains to Kamakuri. I told him that the police routine duties are very clear on certain issues. One such is in the same circumstance. You are to come and apply for leave. When granted, you go with the remains. I said, so we have gone far away. I will be coming back tomorrow. I will be coming. I said, but you have not been warned. He went. The next day, I was calling him. I could only reach him around midday. He told me he was in McKinney. I said, okay, in McKinney, I'm expecting that by 3 p.m., please 3 hours from home, you will be in Freetown. And by 3 p.m. when I called him, he said he was at Berry. And I continued monitoring, calling him for his location. I stayed at police headquarters till 8 p.m. He didn't show up. I went home. The following morning, he entered my office. Please allow me to dramatize it.
He said the money dollars.
He entered my office with 2 phones in his hand. He put it on the center table I had. And he threw down his shirt. Started rubbing his eyes. I was asking myself, what's happening? And he said, Caesar, the driver, the police driver, has escaped with $40,000. As God will have it, as he was informing me this, I heard the voice of the Inspector General of Police just near my door. So I just walked. I said, good morning, sir. I said, please carry on. And then he walked in. I said, please, sir, take a seat. This young man has something to tell us. And he repeated the same thing, that for the Caesar, for the Bangura, has escaped with 40,000 United States dollars. I told him that no, we entrusted to you 160,000 United States dollars, 5 gold bars, testing and melting machines for you to take it to Mr. Johnny Walker, Fire Johnny Walker, for safekeeping. So don't tell me about $40,000. But I warned him further for him to take note of the seriousness of the issue. And later he left, according to him, in search of further. He sent me several audio messages. And then eventually, on the 12th of August, I filed a complaint. So this department I'm heading now, because by then I was director of Crime Services Directorate. That matter was investigated, sent to Law Officers Department for legal advice, and that was given. We have tried him displayingly, as he is an SPO. It is provided by Section 157, subsection 2, that for promotions, reductions, dismissals, etc., touching on Assistant Superintendent of Police, OPPO, it is the prerogative. Actually, that is vested. In short, it's vested in the Police Council, and so the disciplinary proceedings have been concluded, sent to Police Council for the necessary actions. But as I started by saying that in very serious offenses involving crime, we don't only stop here. Because those irresponsible elements in the rank and file of the Israeli police shall be removed and thrown away, that they have no place in the police. And what we have done now, we have formally charged him criminally. And that was the matter I gave evidence in yesterday. But my own concern, how can this journalist be sitting and hearing what I have just narrated, and yet he still went and said $40,000? So he is even breaching the trust we have in you, because we call you here to give you information. Or if those pieces of information you are not quite comfortable with, that are not quite clear, you contact the police officer concerned. But this one was in court. I gave evidence, as I have just gave a summary of this, and yet he still went and said $40,000. Just like one journalist, I have actually written a report, but I wanted the matter to be charged to court before taking him to INC. I want you all to understand that police officers are just humans. We only decided to become police officers so that we can do what police officers do in providing safety and security for you and your properties. But there are certain things when the media whether by mistake, by design, or whatever it does, we have family members as well. They call us. Some of them feel very embarrassed. Like first thing this morning, it was my younger brother who is the magistrate in McKinney. He called me, he said, "You are in court yesterday. Was it my brother?" I said, "No," as a complaint. But equally, when one paper owned by late Samora wrote that Brima Jah has been implicated in $40,000 matter, you just imagine. They started calling me all over the world. And so that is why you have the chance to educate the public, we ask that you educate the public very well. CDID is there to sanitize the case. Those who actually we teach them to be committed to their work, to do it professionally, and choose to do it otherwise, we will discipline them. If it's of lower scale, it will be of lower punishment. But if it's very serious, that warrants their dismissal, we'll do so. I also want to bring up another by the so-called General Kaloko. He was an individual I very much admire, and I used to read, listen to his audio. I thought that, warning Sierra Leoneans and so on and so forth, so I was very much impressed. But on the 1st of July 2021 audio, I will invite you to listen. He named some few 419s. And then after that, he said, "Mr. Brima Jah, I'm watching you." And he made a statement which is embarrassing. And I'm not going to leave it. I sent to him on all what the numbers, the available numbers. Permit me to read it. "Good evening, sir. As I called you repeatedly without response, I decided to drop you this note. My attention has been drawn to your 1st of July 2021 audio in which you mentioned my name, Brima Jah, after naming some 419s. Good journalism requires cross-checking information with individuals mentioned before publication. I expected you to cross-check with me any information concerning me before publication. I have no business with those names mentioned. I challenge you to have a face-to-face meeting with me for the contrary to be proved. And I still challenge you. I am extending it further. I spent 3 years as Director of Crime Services. I want him to go through the period I was there, not only confining to this report, but even when I was there, to bring any matter I investigated and I compromised. But what is happening in the police should not be his business. Because I got an information that some police officers will want to smear my character. And I went to the Inspector General, I informed him about that. 2 days after that, somebody said, "Hey, Brima Jah said, made them beat me, made them this." I'm above that. It's not changing into the lion is difficult, but taking the tail of a lion. And I must say, a tiger doesn't roar, he's tried it too. When you see leopard, you know you see leopard. As you say, you say leopard. I challenge you to have a face-to-face meeting for the contrary to be proved. I hold you to high esteem. I didn't even use that in past tense. I said, I hold you to high esteem. And I have been following your audios closely with admiration for your advices to Sierra Leoneans. Please follow that trend and verify information about people. In this particular audio, I want you to note that you have messed up in my own case. 34 years of police career, I have never compromised my work for any personal case. please properly research it. I still stand by that, and I'm still going to go forward. We have worked so hard to get to where we are today. So please, if they tell you something about Brima Jah, I have already instructed a thorough investigation into their conduct. The CDID is investigating their conduct because it was reported by this so-called gentleman escaped. They did it intentionally. And so we are bringing them to book. I'm asking him to help the police. His identity will not be disclosed. But I've called his McKinney people to tell him that he's treading on dangerous ground. Mina Kailam, and then they told me back to me. Yeah? So this Brima Jah is the Kailam man. It says the part is Brima Jah. And for those of you who are not menace, Jah means lion. My great-great-grandfather, who gave the name of Rawa,
This Director of Crime Services has given you a go ahead, please.
Political.
Come on, I'm making
Operation AIG Director of Operations, AIG Professional Standard, my colleague officers, top estates, ladies and gentlemen. Francis Ben Levy, Operations Officer, CID Headquarters. Here again to give you just 4 reports from CID Headquarters, recent reports, which are topical. I start from the rear. On Saturday, the 3rd July 2021, at about 10:30 hours, the Technical Audit Department of EDSA and the Ministry of Energy, together with the security forces led by Dr. Poole, conducted on the spot meter verification exercise at Bakor Road and Haja Fatimata, Olinton, respectively, and arrested 6 suspects for illegal absorption of electricity supply. They are now under investigation, speedy investigation. On Friday, 2nd July 2021, at about 16:30 hours, the same Technical Audit Department of EDSA and the Ministry of Energy, together with the security forces, led by Dr. Poole again, conducted on the spot meter verification exercise and arrested Sanfa Toroka of Medina off PPC Road, Freetown, for the same illegal abduction of electricity. These are tropical issues for electricity, and they are now under investigation. Then on Saturday, the 3rd July 2021, at about 16:45 hours, the Major Incident Unit of the Criminal Investigation Department, Headquarters, Freetown, received a case and inquiry file for an alleged firing of dynamite explosive in water along Moritown Sea Axis. And the report stated that on that day, the operation officer in the presence of Inspector Kuruma AB and team attached to the Sierra Leone Police Department arrested one Aruna Kamara for the offense of have fired an explosive instrument to kill the fishes in the water, and now is under investigation also. Then the other important area of cases that we have received, this is for
The conspiracy to commit a felony to wit unlawful possession of arms and ammunition. At 2000 hours on Friday, 2nd July 2021, the regional commander Freetown East Ross Road Police Station, in the persons of CSP Francis Hayes and team, arrested and brought 4 suspects, namely Michael Alpha Fona of number 8 PC Road Freetown, Nabi Unisa Bangura of number 83 Regency Road Police Station Freetown, Serif Jalo of number 2 Ladner Street, Freetown, and Honorable Emmanuel Saidu Conte of number 1F of College Road, Congo Cross, for the offense of conspiracy to commit a felony to wit unlawful possession of arms and ammunition, and reported that investigation is in active progress. They are all at CID headquarters. These are the 4 topic episodes. President, thank you.